Hello and welcome. Silrace here with Escape from Tarkov. This one is less of a story and more of a running commentary on my successful run of finding a missing convoy. Though there will be a bunch of rambling related to this and some other things relating to Tarkov as well. Now, something I have learned so far from playing this map is that this particular spawn I have here, this is not a fun spawn to try and stay alive in. Especially for at least, not necessarily especially, but at least for a beginner like myself. Because so far, majority of the time I have gotten this spawn and I have tried to, get onto the map. I have been caught in the middle of movement by somebody else, usually from long range, and absolutely just destroyed. So yeah, so this time I am actually traversing the edge of the map, try and keep the tree line to my left, basically, so that the folks who spawn on that side, maybe I don't get caught this time. Now, should I have gone around the rocks from the other side? Maybe, possibly. That might have helped as well. I am just also picking up absolutely completely random things because I have random Saiga. I believe I got this as a task reward, and I have tiny backpack and a rig because those are the only things I really have. Everything else is either waiting to be returned to me or being looted by some other player somewhere. So yeah, at least I have decent armor, even though I don't have any helmets or anything else of the sort. Now, let's talk about a couple other things. See, about the only reason I know where I am going on this map to find this convoy thing is that I have spent a lot of hours completely utterly lost on this map while I was looking for the Jaeger's introduction task thing. His letter of introduction, I suppose, and in general where that was located. So that's there is the positive thing of, running around like crazy all over the dang map and essentially kind of learning the map. Learning where things are, and then realizing when I saw this particular task description that, hey, I have come across this convoy thing on one end of the map on a road, and the other thing is one of the large camps, right? So, yeah. So, being an absolute newbie and such, and also I have a exfil as well that I know. Oh, outskirts. I have done that exfil before. So yeah, that's good. Now, the other downside though is that I have not played this map quite enough of hours to figure out exactly what is the, aside of the various camps where I have figured, okay, this place is usually filled with people. Everybody goes there for apparently good loot, and if I go there, I will die. Basically that. But how do people mostly traverse the map? That's still something I am trying to figure out. Like, where do I go to be able to avoid most of the players? And where would I go to be able to find players, aside of the fact that trying to, just track gunfire. That's obviously one way to find other players. But I'm trying to keep a decent pace here while getting to the objectives, I'm just trying to keep a decent pace, but slowing down enough to look around to make sure I go in the correct direction, that I still know where the heck I am about. Not necessarily exactly, and also to maybe not get caught off guard by another player or an NPC, as in a scavenger of might be actually be a player scavenger even. But this big rock in the middle of the map is such a very, I don't actually know if it's exactly in the middle, but kind of close to the middle of the map. Is really good landmark to navigate with anyway. So that helps a ton, and helps a whole lot. As for this task itself, this convoy finding thing, not you know, just because that's the task I am on here in this background footage, and not the finding the introduction letter. That's already done, even though that took a whole lot of hours. Partially, as I mentioned back during that video as well, partially it took that long because I am stubborn and I refuse to look at any information when it comes to this game. I don't look up any guides, I don't look at the wiki. I assume this game has a wiki because everything has a wiki now. I don't look at any of those things. I just play the game and learn the game, because that is what I find fun. That is how I enjoy games, generally. If you want to, you know, not do that, and you prefer to look at wikis and other guides and so on, then that's, you know, that's how you prefer to do things. I don't prefer to do them that way. And I am not telling you, or trying to tell you, that my way is somehow better. Obviously my way causes a whole lot of, you know, expended time spent on very basic things, such as figuring out where the heck the introduction letter was for Jaeger. But again, I am getting sidetracked while wandering in these woods, and let's talk about this particular task. Because for this particular task, this is not the first time I am doing this task, this footage here. Oh no, not at all. That would have been way too lucky for me, right? To be able to finish this on the first go. Nope, no. I actually tried this twice before. The very first time, I just got ambushed by some scavs. There was just randomly, I was traversing along the edge of the map, and just randomly there were two scavs simply having a picnic behind a rock. And they just destroyed me. It was like, I don't think either of those was a player scav, but things happen. And my aim is not that great or anything of the sort, and I was just, you know, running along. Did not realize that there would be scavs just sitting behind a rock randomly. And especially multiple of them. Anyway. So that was my first attempt, ending in an absolute disaster. Also, I am here with this broken village, and I was like, okay, let's see if I can just bypass this place and go right through here and get to the actual objective. Now, I have also learned that this particular area is kind of dangerous to traverse, but I also don't want to spend the entire raid timer on this particular map, because eventually you start running into a bunch of player scavengers. It's just all over the place. So they're trying to weir through, you know, balance those decisions, right? Balance the decisions. Now, the other attempt, the second attempt I had for this, I did find the convoy. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that the camp, which this thing requires you to get to, is a hotspot. It's a definite hotspot. Everybody seems to want to fight over it. I don't know. I don't know if the loot is that good. But anyway, I managed to, you know, get the location, get the subtask complete, but I wasn't able to get out of there alive. I got gunned down while I was trying to run away, because I realized there is somebody there, and I got gunned down. So yeah, this has taken 2 tries before this third one, where I managed to actually finish the task on this third attempt. And I'm using a piece of statistics here, since I have done statistics on the couple of extra videos, or couple previous videos rather, not extra. I was thinking of extra tasks. Anyway, extra information, I suppose. This is by far now the task which has taken me the fewest amount of attempts to actually finish. Only requiring 3. So that's a new thing, new record for me. Because usually it takes me a whole lot more to first figure out where everything is, where am I going, and you know, how do I even get out after that. Part of the fun of learning a new game. Figuring out how things work and where everything is and all of that. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. However, now we are nearing the actually really difficult part of this particular task. At least for me it was. Well, I suppose the difficult part was also to get there, considering I got killed by scavs on the way in the first time. But this was the more scary part, which I knew would be the more scary part, right? Actually getting the camp and then getting out and surviving. Here comes the decision-making thing. Let's talk about that, because this is something I am still trying to work on. Like, if I hop in towards the camp from this side, which side do I go to try and get out, knowing that I have to essentially follow, well, knowing where my extract is. I don't necessarily want to double back into the direction I came from. And here I'm trying to be really careful. Of course, I am making a whole bunch of noise. I am not actually walking slowly here. But I figure if somebody is here paying attention anyway, they will know that I am coming along. And anybody who is looting here likely expects company. Because the place seems to be kind of full of bad guys every time. So I am just going through here, and then I am leaving. I don't want to hang around. I don't wanna die, right? I fully expect somebody to come along and just, you know, start looting the place. Even if other players, as in PMCs, have already, you know, either fought for the place and run off, or looted the place and run off, and none of those are coming in. Player scavs are very likely to start pouring in to try and look for scraps. So I'm actually doing the one thing I said that I might not want to do, which is to double back. Because what I am doing is doubling back just a little bit. And this is where, like, my indecisiveness kicks in, and it's like, I don't want to go all the way back. So let's just, you know, go around this particular thing, because there is a camp on top of the little hill to my left right now. And if I go this direction, I hit the wall of the map. And I know that for a fact. Like, I just get to the wall, to the edge of the map. It's not actually a wall in the sense of a wall. There is minefield, and if you walk past the edge of the map, you die to a minefield, which is a very strange design, but that's how it's designed. And so now I see the mine markers to my right there, and I start just, you know, making way down. Making way down towards the extract. Or should I say up? I actually have no idea which direction on this map is north or south or anything else. And this is me double checking. Okay, cool. I am done indeed. It's just like, let's just double check before I really go for it. And frankly, overall, I consider this real successful for me. In the sense that I managed to avoid dying. And I actually managed to extract as well at the end, because this is obviously a successful task completion, so you know, spoiler warning, that there is a successful extraction at the end. But most of all, I think I managed to traverse the map without running into anybody who would, you know, just destroy me in a fight. And I think to me that is the sort of victory of like, okay, I might understand just a little bit of how this map functions. What are the hotspots that people really go to? And how do I traverse this map to mostly try and stay out of those hotspots, or maybe even line of fire of those hotspots, so anybody looting there or hanging around there and whatnot doesn't see me and, you know, start taking me out with some kind of a weapon with a whole lot more range, and also or you know, better scope magnification than I have, considering I am using iron sights on this thing. So from that point of view, I consider this quite a bit of a success for me personally. And this was fun and intense as well to do. Because I like this sort of trying to be sneaky and successful thing. Instead of just, you know, trying to go in guns blazing, trying to take out everybody. Not exactly my forte, not something I really enjoy when it comes to just, you know, playing games. I have to admit that I am fairly surprised that I didn't run into anybody traversing this edge of the map. Because this seems like like one of those spots where you would run into somebody just waiting for people to try and get to the extract. Because there is very little line of sight, line of fire to thanks to the wall on my left, essentially. So hanging around on this side seems like the sort of camper's paradise area of like just hang around, wait for people to come, shoot them to pieces. But then again, there are probably a lot more effective camping spots on the map that I simply don't know yet. And probably also because I have no interest in doing any of that myself. I have zero interest in camping. I prefer movement and all of this stuff over sitting in one specific location and just, you know, hoping that somebody comes along or trying to catch somebody unaware coming along. Not to say that I don't like sniping, sharpshooting, snipe hunting is a thing, because to me that's an entirely different thing. Camping, trying to essentially set up an ambush for somebody in a very specific location where you know people are coming, that can be a smart play and whatnot, but trying to do that as your sole mode of trying to get loot in a game like this, to me, I have no interest in that. But setting up an ambush or setting up a location where, picking up a location where you know that, okay, let's do some long range fire, that's a different thing, at least to my mind anyway. But yeah, I am here, I have my extract in sight, and I'm just creeping along a little, making sure I don't accidentally run into anybody and like, oh, that allows me to transit somewhere. Let's not do that. That would be bad. I actually, prior to this, I had no idea there is a transit to any other map on this particular corner of the map, this map anyway. But yeah, I am about to extract from the outskirts and finish this particular task on the third attempt. Thank you very much for watching, and do hit the subscribe button if you aren't already.